Ahead on the Griffon Newscast, the search for Missouri Western's next president has begun. What administrators are saying about the search, plus enrollment at Missouri Western continues to grow. How these numbers are affecting housing on campus, all that and more is coming up. The Griffon Newscast starts now. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brittany Price. The search for a replacement has kicked into high gear in the week since Missouri Western President Robert Vartabedian announced he will be retiring on July 1st, 2019. Griffon News reporter Elijah Smith has been following all the developments and has the latest.
After more than a decade at Missouri Western, President Robert Vartabedian is calling it quits, capping off an over 40-year career in education. The next step? To find his successor. The Board of Governors has already held the first of many meetings to discuss the search process. Board Chair David Lichty says that while the original plan was to have about 15 people on the search committee, that number has grown to over 20 people to make sure that no group is left out in the search process. Lichty says he wants to make sure the views and ideas of the community are heard. Student Governor Paul Granberry III is part of the search committee. He is working hard to make sure that students will be involved in the search. The board hopes to conclude their search as early as the spring. They will hold another meeting on October 25th. Reporting for the Griffon News, I'm Caleb May.
Stay with the Griffon News in print and online, and we'll bring you all the updates as the Board of Governors continues its search for Missouri Western's next president. If you've been hanging out in Blum Student Union at all since the semester began, you may have noticed that some things are different. After a complete renovation of the food court last year, Blum saw some more updates over the summer. In addition to a refresh to the cafeteria, the Java City coffee shop was replaced with a Starbucks. The new coffee shop held a grand opening ceremony on Wednesday morning, complete with free coffee giveaways. Students say they're happy with the improvements.
Well, it definitely gets more people to go grab coffee because it's much more well known than Java City was. Overall, I think it just increases the flow through Blum.
The new Starbucks adds to several other coffee shop offerings on campus, including Einstein Brothers Bagels and the Roastery. Student enrollment is up for the second straight year at Missouri Western. Preliminary numbers indicate over 1,000 new freshmen enrolled at Missouri Western this semester. That's a 22% increase from 2 years ago. Freshman applications are up 103% in the last 2 years, and campus visits are up 45% in the same time period. Finalized data will be made available after the official census date, 4 weeks into the semester. This continued increase in enrollment has led to tight quarters in some of Missouri Western's dorms. Not only is housing at capacity, but students awaiting room placement are being put on a waiting list. Residential life staff are exploring other options to handle the high demand for housing, including earlier registration deadlines and random selection of reapplicants for placement. However, they have yet to settle on a solution. 2 former members of the U.S. House of Representatives were at Missouri Western on Monday. New York Democrat Dan Maffei and California Republican Stephen Kuykendall were on campus as a part of the second annual Constitution Day celebration. They offered 2 presentations about the Congress and the Constitution. Both talks were free and open to the public, and the former congressman took questions from the audience after both presentations. Those who were at the event say it's important for everyone to understand how our government works.
It's absolutely important to have events like this because we are all living within this country. It's very important to understand how this country works. With the Constitution, it's the basic framework of how our government works. If you don't understand the process, it makes it much more difficult to be part of that process.
The former congressmen were at Missouri Western as part of the Congress to Campus program. The Griffon News is honored to once again partner with Griffon Update to bring you the stories making headlines at Missouri Western. To see all the latest updates on the stories we're following, like us on Facebook or log on to thegryphonnews.com. I'm Brittany Price, and that's your news in 5 minutes. Thanks for watching the Griffon Newscast.